Hi everybody, this is Brenda at KBW Bargains, and I am back from 2 weeks of craziness. So Kevin and I were on a cruise on July 8th through the 15th, and I will talk a little bit about how I had my store, how I had it set up as we left. And then I came back and I got sick. I got really sick. Both Kevin and I did. And so I didn't do anything that week. So it's been 2 weeks of not a whole lot of activity, but the sales have been great. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it because I didn't do any listing while I was gone on vacation. I didn't do any listing while I was sick. Even though I tried really hard. I did some activities on the computer, but didn't list. And so now I'm back to listing, and the sales have been great. But like I say, that might have been a fluke. I'm not quite sure. And so I might be paying for it in the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to get it really ramped up this week. This is Monday the 24th, and this is for items that sold Friday, 3rd, 24th. So it'll be the 21st through the 23rd. And I will go over that, and then we will talk about the shipping and talk about my vacation and what I do on the store. But let's get right into what sold. So on eBay, I had 10 items sell over the weekend, and on Poshmark, I had 8 items, and then on Mercari, I had 1, which is just about how it goes with Mercari. So on eBay, let's get right into what sold. So the first item is a Marmot Mountain hoodie. I always do well with that brand. It sold it for $17 plus shipping. A lot of these items I had on sale. I had my store on a week sale. Usually I do 2 sales a week, but I did a whole week while I was gone on vacation and had it with an extreme, trying to get rid of old inventory that was before January of this year. So anything before that I did for 50% off, which I was surprised didn't do as well. And I take it off, and I'm starting to sell items that I had on sale for 50% off, and it's selling at regular price. You never know. Never know. So I just sold that hoodie in June. Next item up. Now this is one of those items I had for 50% off. And I had reduced it. I had tried everything to get rid of this. It's a brand new with tags, 32 degrees. It is a pullover dress is what it's identified as on the tag, but it could easily be used as a sleeping nightgown, a sleeper. But I sold that for $9 plus shipping, but I had that for the longest time. Probably one of my oldest items that I have in my store. And I was almost on the verge of starting to pull items that aren't selling and either putting them in the garage sale or redonating them. And that was one of them. And lo and behold, it could have sold for $4.50. It sold for $9. Next item up, I sold 2 ornaments this weekend. Ornaments are starting to sell, and I've been listing quite a few of them. But this is a Hallmark. It's cute. It's got 2 raccoons, and they're holding Campbell's soup cans, and it's called the Party Line. They're cute. I just listed that in June, and they sold for $9 plus shipping. Most of these items I took offers. I take a lot of offers. I do a lot of sales. I take a lot of offers because I want to move this stuff out. Next item is Mattel 2010 lot of 7 wrestlers action figures. I sold that for $22 plus shipping, and I just listed that in June. We had a whole bundle of wrestlers that we sold individually, and then we lotted some of them up, and we sold them in lots. And this lot sold for $22. Next item is a vintage FUBU baseball jersey button up. This was really cool. But this we sold for $39.95 plus shipping. Just listed that in May. It was a really nice, very clean, bright colors, and that was a good find. I believe we found that at the bins, And so, you know, a dollar, what is it, a dollar? $1.79 now a pound. So I was happy with that. This next item is a zip around. It's a rectangle wallet, women's wallet. Sold that for $16.95 plus shipping. We had gotten that at we bought that for like $1. We got it at a yard sale the beginning of the summer, and this girl, she was young, she worked for Dakine, that was here in our hometown, and she had, I think, 3 or 4 wallets, and she had a tote bag that she used as a baby bag, and we had already sold those. I only have this, I had just sold this, so I have 1 wallet left, but Dakine is a really good seller for us. I love picking it up. Next item is an Oregon Scientific wireless weather station. Sold that for $25.95. Just listed that in April. So but we had a lot of messages on that because it's just the unit itself. It didn't have any of the wires that go outside or any of the actual plug-in for it. And that's all in the description. So we kept getting comments on that, but somebody did buy it, knowing all that. Next item up is a selected golf courses. It is a book. It's a big book, rectangle, very heavy, very heavy. I think it was like 6 pounds when I shipped it this morning. Sold that for $34.85. We had it on medium mail, but medium mail being that heavy, and I guess the size, it went for $8.85, I believe. It was heavy. I don't know how many pictures it had in there. But, and it was sealed. It was brand new. It was sealed up, so I couldn't look at the pictures, but it was nice. And we had gotten that at the bins, and so 65 cents, I believe, no, that's for electronics. Books, I'm not quite sure of, but they're really cheap at the bins. Next item is a Fenton perched owl. I had bought 4 Fenton glass at an estate. It was this lady who bought out estate sales, or she ran estate sales, and then she gets all the stuff and she brings it back to a warehouse that she stores it, and she does private showings. And anyway, I had bought these 4, I believe 3 of them were cats, and this was an owl. And this was the last one, and I had it listed for $100. It was a blue cobalt. It was beautiful, and we turned it in light, and it turned different colors. But I had it for $100. There were several listed for that, and there was a few that sold at that price. But I was willing to take any offer because I got all 4 of them, I believe, for like $34, and I made that with selling one of the cats. So I'll take an offer on this, $75, and I took it. Had several. I mean, I listed that in May. But I had several offers on it. I was able to send several offers, and I kept turning them down, and I said, I better take this. $75, I was happy with that. Sometimes you hold on to something too long and then it goes by you, and I've had that happen. So when something comes along and I get a good price, I got to tell myself, I'm trying to sell this stuff, trying to get it out of here. Next item is the other ornament that I sold. I listed this in June. It sold for $19.95. It is a Hallmark's Disney Mickey Mouse. It's the old black and white Mickey Mouse. He's on his little steamboat. And it was one of those you plug into the lights. It makes sounds. I don't know if it lights up, but it makes sounds. And I love picking up Hallmark, and most of the majority of the Hallmark I get is at Walmart. It's at the bins, so I get it very cheaply. But Hallmark, it's always done well for me. And so I sold a lot last year, and already getting a heads up on the ornaments now. And that is all for eBay. Happy with those sales. Great turnovers. A lot of those items, there was a few of them that were older, but the majority was stuff that I listed in the last 2 months. So got to get the older stuff going. Poshmark, I believe I had 7 or 8 items, because I had some items I needed to cancel, because the weirdest thing is that I had older items, sell on both eBay and Poshmark overnight. And so I have to end the ones on Poshmark, unfortunately, because I can't do it to eBay, but Poshmark. And so I believe I had 2 items that did that. And I was like, what is going on? Are these people seeing it on one site and going to another site and seeing it? I didn't really check into that to see if it was the same, person and they got a better deal. If it was the same buyer, that would be really weird. All right, so on Poshmark, starting off with Hey Dudes, Wendy shoes, women's. I have the best luck. I found Hey Dudes. Oh, and I sold those for $21 plus shipping. Actually, I do discounted shipping on all my items on Poshmark. But Hey Dudes, I found out last year and a half ago. I found like 3 or 4 of them at the bins, and they're so light. But I found them and looked them up, and they were crazy turnover. I mean, the sell-through rate is crazy. So, and I was never able to find them again. I found them at the bins, and then I kept hearing, it seems like on everywhere I went, I kept hearing about Hey Dudes. Well, I finally found a pair at the bins again, and, you know, they were less than $1 and sold them for $21. But they're slip-ons, very comfortable. I wish I could find them in my size. That would have been awesome. But those were in really good condition. Really, you know, they're very comfortable. But these look like they were worn, but in good condition. The soles were great. The insoles weren't too worn. You can see the size clearly. Next item up is a Columbia Omni Shield hiking camo pants with the roll tab legs for hiking, and these were really nice, but it did have some peeling in the crotch area. And so I had two or three people text me or message me about the peeling. They said, I understand there's some peeling, but is the Omni Shield still good on the material? They wanted to know if it was crisp or if it was soft. So I texted them that it was soft. So I don't think the Omni Shield is still in effect, but they're really nice pants. And they ended up buying them. And so a lot of that, these items with the Omni Shield and the bug repellent on them, and, you know, and ones that are waterproof. I don't know after they've been washed how many washes they can go and still be waterproof. But I tried to answer the question best to the knowledge. I thought more that it would be people wouldn't buy it because of the pilling, even though I listed that in there and I did a close-up of it. I mean, it wasn't major, it was minor, but they still bought it. Very happy with that. Sold those for $22 plus shipping. Next item is a vintage mountain, it's Zayok, mountain biking cycling shirt. It wasn't your regular jersey, it was more of a shirt, but it still had, it was a cool material. I can't really explain the material, but the material was very breathable. And that was made in USA. I don't know if that's normally made in the USA, but it was a really nice shirt. Put it down as vintage. It sold for $17 plus shipping. Really good condition. I love selling cycling jerseys and cycling apparel. It goes really well for us here in the Pacific Northwest. Plus I can find it pretty easily because there is a lot of bicycling, cycling, mountain biking, trail riding. And so I find a lot of that. And it sells regularly for me. Next up is a Columbia PFG. That speaks for itself. Button-up shirt. Long sleeve, has the roll tab sleeves. It was UPF 30 plus, vented back. Sold that for $18 plus shipping. That was a really nice shirt. I don't believe I had it for very long. It was in the last 2 months. But Columbia PFG sells, I mean, that's kind of like Carhartt and Columbia Titanium. It pretty much sells itself. I don't have to do much to that to sell it. Just put that in the title and it'll sell itself. Next up, I've had this for a while, but I thought it was really cool. So I've had the best luck with backpacks, the drawstring backpacks. I usually do the Nike and Adidas, but I found this Ronald McDonald House Charity drawstring backpack. Sold that for $8 plus shipping. I have really no problem selling those. I've also sold another one that wasn't a Nike or Adidas. It was, I can't remember right off the top what the brand name was. I want to say it was a soccer, but it was a soccer brand. Whoa, I had a cough there. But that sold, and I was happy to get that out, but I did have it for a while. Next item up is a Columbia, Oregon State Beavers backpack, adjustable straps, sold that for $25 plus shipping, and had that for longer than I wanted to, but I guess with school coming up, people heading back off to college, somebody got that. It's a really nice backpack. It's pretty clean, nothing wrong with it. Doesn't look like it's been worn too much. And that looks like all of Poshmark. On Mercari, I have one sale. It was a vintage 1970s Telec Troxel blue and white headphones. And now the weird thing about these headphones, I didn't have them listed very long. I got them, I believe, a couple of months ago. Found them at the bins. They were clean. Other than it just looks like it's aged, the paint, nothing scratched on it. They're in very good condition. But when I went to ship this, because we're doing the Ground Advantage, but through their, I just listed it as headphones and electronics and headphones. Nothing out too crazy, but it came down as Ground Advantage, and it came down with an H. Usually it has a G now in the corner. Instead of P for priority, it has G for Ground Advantage. And now this is not through eBay, so this is a label that Mercari had already done up. But they had an H for hazmat ground delivery. So I don't know if it's electronics. I don't know if they think electronics and it's got the lithium batteries in it. I'm not sure, but I thought that was kind of hazmat for some headphones. But I paid for it and it went out. Okay, but that was something new that I haven't seen on the postage. So that is all of what I have for what sold. Now I wanted to go over some of my vacation. So I left on the 8th, and on Saturday the 8th, and I had heard through YouTubers giving some advice about the upcoming first class going to Ground Advantage. And one of them was to, over that weekend, starting that Friday, the 7th, 8th, and 9th, that eBay would be putting on their site the Ground Advantage, and that you could go in and bulk edit your first class. And I have my first class usually into 3 sections. Anything that's 8 ounces or less is $4.99. 9 ounces to 12 ounces is $5.99. And anything 13 ounces to a pound is $6.99. So I was able to go in and get all my $4.99s, bulk edit them to the Ground Advantage, and then put in the flat rate shipping of $4.99, and it worked out. And so I did it with the $5.99 and the $6.99 and had no problems. And then I checked to make sure, so I, brought up those listings to make sure that it did take an effect, the Ground Advantage, and it did. Didn't have to do anything else to any other postage, just the first class to Ground Advantage, and it did it. So I went on vacation, and I thought that would take care of itself. Now, the other thing with vacation is usually when I go on vacation, I don't do time away, because I've heard that time away, it discourages some buyers. And also when you send offers and you receive offers, if you accept them, then you may have to update your handling time, because it will show that it needs to be shipped out if you do 1 day shipping and 1 day shipping, even though you're time away. So I I usually didn't do that. But this time I decided to do it because we were going to be on a ship and we were going to be out on the ocean, and we weren't going to pay for internet while we were on the boat. We were going to try and stay away from social media. So we only were going to access the internet when we were in ports. So I decided to read the fine print of the time away and still be active. I can still sell stuff. It'll still show my items up to 15 days. But I also extended my handling time to 10 days because there's really no 7 days. It's funny, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15. So I did 10 days. And so I could, because the small print, if I do any activities on there, it may do something to my handling time, and I may have to ship it while I'm gone, and I can't do that because it's just me and Kevin. So I did that, and it went awesome. The only difference about this vacation is I did not list anything, because normally I will get drafts made up before I go, and I'll list maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 items while I'm gone every day, but I didn't do that. So I went on vacation, was able to send and receive and answer messages when we were in ports, but I didn't list anything for 7 days. Came back, and we had sold, in the 7 days, we had sold 19 items. And I was happy with that because that's almost about 3 items a day. And so I was happy with that without having to list anything or do anything. Now, before I went, I also had my store on sales. Usually I'll do 2 or 3 sales a week, but while I was gone, I just did a week sale, and I did extreme sales of items that were older than the first of the year. I did 50% off, and then I did other sales of 20% off and then 15% off. So basically 99% of my store was on sale while I was on vacation. So I was happy with those sales, but I got back and I got sick. And so I tried my darndest to list, but I didn't. But I did do some sales on my store the week after my vacation, but I didn't list anything. But I did sales, and I sent offers while I was laying in bed because it really wiped me out. I'm still kind of nasally right now, but I didn't list anything. So 2 weeks of not listing, and I had an average of 5, and when I got back, I did change my handling time back to 1 day handling time as I got back. Okay, so I don't know if that made a difference, but I averaged about 5 items a day being sold for not listing for a whole 2 weeks. And even now with the weekend, 19 items. So that's, that was really good for me over the weekend without listing for 2 weeks. Today is Monday the 24th, and I'm back to listing. I'm back to doing my normal. But that really took a toll, and I don't know if I'm going to pay for it in the next couple of weeks. My, sales dipping, but I'm going to go strong into this. But that's just a little bit of a surprise to me because I panicked. I panicked that I was sick. I was panicked that I wasn't going to be listing anything, and then to not list for 2 weeks. I got into a panic mode thinking, boy, my store is really going to take a dip. It hasn't so far, which I'm happy, but I'm going strong into this, back into my normal routine, and we'll see how it goes. Now, back to the shipping. The shipping, when I got back, I got right into Monday because I was a little nervous. How's this going to work out? Am I going to have any glitches? And I got right into shipping, and it came right up ground Vantage. I was still within my margins. I didn't see any price difference. And I'm not sure if it went down or went up, but items that I had for 8 ounces or less that I had for $4.99, they came within the $4. Usually $4 to $4.99, depending on where it goes across the United States. I'm in the West Coast, so you know, if it went clear to Florida, it's going to be on the high end of $4.99, probably about $4.80, $4.70. And as we get closer, of course, it gets cheaper. But I haven't seen any price increases or price decreases because I'm still within my margins. And so it's been nothing but positive experience. And I hope you guys have had a positive experience with the whole change. I hope it went smoothly for you. And I hope you have some great sales this week. And that's all I have for today. Thanks. See you later.